Hello, chat. Hi, Georgia. We are here. Sorry to be
Welcome to the
two-faced.
lesson of coding. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
This is gonna start more with just Unity, and Unity has a lot of specific definitions and stuff which you need to know. So it's gonna be more dealing with Unity first. We will decode, and yeah, I'm too afraid of nah. Trying to decide whether to make.
Not protect me, okay. I opened on Unity a project like 2D normal. Is that right?
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Okay.
They've updated a whole bunch of stuff since I last worked on it. That used to will just be like one single mode, but I guess I had to optimize it. Okay, I see your stream. So, let me get my list up. So, do you know what a game object is?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And you know what the transform is?
I forgot that part.
So, every game object which is listed at the top left has a transform, and this tells Unity a whole lot of information about the object. This includes the position, the rotation, stuff like that. My Unity is still loading, so I'm gonna be a
So
little
like
bit slow.
these.
Similar.
Moving it to X.
If you
Or
click
like rotating
on
it.
the camera.
Camera.
Yeah.
Where is that? Here?
No, so in the top left you have your list of game objects under sample scene.
Yeah.
It gives you a camera by default.
Yeah,
then
these two.
On the right hand side you now have your inspector, which tells you everything about that object.
Yeah.
So all the ones listed here are the components. The transform being one of the components, and every game object will have a transform. You actually can't even remove it. You can replace it with other ones, but you can't remove the transform. And that's literally position, rotation, scale, which is all you need. I also need to switch to ArtViz.net. Show the desktop. There it is. Okay. So what next? So each component has properties or variables. One of the transform variables is transform.position. So you'll see under transform you have position, rotation, and scale listed. These are the different ones you can access.
I should get your stream up.
I mean, I'm looking at the finished version. I can label stuff. I need like a snipping tool or something. My music's also too loud. There you go.
Alright.
Okay, so in the top right, you have our transform component. Yeah. Under that is listed everything we can access in it. The only one we're interested in for this is a position. So today we're not dealing with proper movement physics. We are just going to directly affect the transform.position. Meaning we're basically going to teleport the snake head around. So no smooth movement, we're not going to deal with that. Do you know what a collider is?
420 Mr. Cheddar said hi.
Hi, Cheddar.
A collider?
Yes.
Hello, Cheddar. I remember hearing of it, but I forgot.
Okay, so if you want
Gene Drake 10 said
game
hello,
objects
Cheddar.
to detect each other, let me turn on my TTS real quick. if you want game objects to detect each other, they have to have a sort of
420
hitbox
Mr.
or-
Cheddar said, hey Jar Jar.
There we go. Let's turn that down. So, every object needs to have a collider if it's going to collide or interact with other objects. So, an example of this would be if you had a floor and a ball with gravity. If there's no collider, then the ball would fall straight through the floor and would never be detected or interact in any way. If they
Yeah.
both have a collider, then the ball will collide with the floor.
420 Mr.
And if
Cheddar
only one of
said
them has a
balls.
collider, then they still won't interact. They need both of them. There are two types of colliders. You have interaction ones and collision ones. We're only dealing with collision today. But interaction is when you want them to detect each other without actually colliding. That's like hitboxes. Anyway, so that's probably the definitions. I'll add more as we go. So first things first, we need to make a snake head. So if you go to the top left under sample scene, you can right click and hit 2D object sprites square. We're not going to deal with any artwork or anything like that today. We are just doing that's too far top left. So we are just
Oh my
doing
god, it's so small.
placeholder. yeah. I can switch over to this one and get the desktop problem there. That'll be bigger for you, but so literally under sample scene where all of our game objects are kept, you right click there, and then we can create a 2D object. We're going for a sprite because that's 2D graphical, and a square.
Alright.
That's like that menu is where you'll make the vast majority of your game objects. So that is now our snake head. I'm gonna move everything else over a bit. Create everything old. Move all of this onto that, and then I'll move this over there. Okay, so we have a square. For organizational purposes, it's good to label stuff and name stuff. So, in the top left menu, where the square is, I want you to rename that to head.
Yeah.
That works. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to add our own code to this snake head. So, if you select the head under the hierarchy in the scene, in the top left box, then it will show up on the inspector on the right. From there we can add a component. So you have the default components such as transform and the renderer. We don't care about those. We are going to add our own script. So we'll do add component. You can just type anything in and then hit new script, and then you name that script, call it like snakehead or something like that, and then create an ad. And that should give you a blank script. Oh yeah, it doesn't like spaces. So that is how you put your encode in. And if you just double click on that, then you get Visual Studio up. And this...
Tarproc341 said cheap viewers on cut.ly/Keller4JC.
Disgraceful. Mod team, get 'em. So, Unity uses Visual Studio for all of its code. And it's pretty good. It can get a little bit confusing when you're going outside of Unity, but if you're just using it for Unity, it is really good. I'll give you a second to load it up. So, what we need to do...
Loaded.
Gene Drake
Nice.
10 said, degree.
So you how much coding experience do you actually have?
All my experience is following tutorials
Okay.
and failing miserably hard somehow.
Okay. So we'll go through step by step. So we do not care about void start. Right, so these hmm. So void start is a method. So the part that starts with the void is determining what it will return to whatever called that method or function. These don't return anything, which is why they're called void, because void is empty. If you wanted to, you
Yeah.
could rename void to something like int for integer or float, and that would still be a valid thing. And then the start is literally just a name. Unity has a couple names for methods built in, such as start, update, and fixed update. But we don't care about int start or void start in this case, so we're just going to delete it. Don't do anything for us. So, with an update. So what we are going to be messing with, remember your brackets, is we are going to mess with the transform directly. First thing we're going to do here is literally just editing it without actually doing anything else. So the way you access it is by default, like if you don't properly label what you're referring to, it will assume you're referring to its own game object. So if we do transform.position, then that is referring to its own transform position. If you wanted to refer to a different one, we'd call a variable called game object something, and then we would do the something.transform.position. But because we're referring to itself, since we're not specifying the game object, it assumes it will do itself. So don't need to care about that. So transform.position. Do you know what a vector 3 is?
What?
A vector 3. VCTOR.
I remember using that in code, but I don't remember what it did.
So vector 3s are used to store positions. So this uses a XYZ system. And so it's literally just a collection of 3 numbers. But it doesn't like being assigned directly like it, so we need to set it to a new vector 3. If you want to create a empty version of a variable type, you can do new and then the variable name. Most things do not need that, but vector 3 is one of the ones that do. So new vector 3, and then in brackets we are putting our 3 numbers. How are you doing? That's good. Yes. In fact, you see the autofill stuff there. You got float x, y, and z. So that's literally just a collection of 3 numbers with a comma in between. We will do 0, 1, 0. So this is x, y, z. So within Unity, when this runs, it will move the position to up a bit, like y equals 1 and z equals 0. And then we will just end that there. We'll do the semicolon, and then we'll head back to Unity. Yeah. So now, load this space. Okay. So now,
Yeah.
every time you save new code in Unity, it will automatically recompile everything when you tap back into it. It actually does it very quickly and it's very useful. But if we just hit start now, then it'll make the game for us. And what we will see is, assuming we've done this right, is the square will move ever so slightly up. Why is mine taking a while? At least it should. I might have actually just crashed my Unity. Oh no. It's bad.
Yeah, it works for me.
Nice. Yeah, I've completely broken my Unity with that. I don't know how I've done that with a single line of code, but
Great.
okay, let's kill that and I'll reboot on my side. Relaunch it. So we can edit the transform to move the position of our head. And the moment we are moving it on a predetermined bit of code.
Gene10 said the stream is going great with no scuff at all.
Yeah, no
Mirror.
scuff, no scuff. So what we need now is to read the player's inputs. So back
420
in our
Mr.
movement
Cheddar
script,
said yes.
we are going to do... so the way Unity gets inputs is it does input dot, and then you can do like key down or get access. For this, I think my Unity's back up. For this, we will be using. It also didn't save anything. For this, we'll be using input dot get access, and Unity has two axes which we are going to use. We're going to use horizontal and vertical. To access the property of any what do I even call it? To access the properties of anything, you do the dot. It's like transform.position. We are doing input.getAxis, because getAxis is a property of input. Input does also have to be capitalized. Unity is very finicky about it. So I'm going to do input.getAxis horizontal, and then we'll do the same line for vertical. I'm not currently doing anything with them, but we will be using the debug menu. What are you doing over there? You can also use nice. You can also use Control D in Visual Studio to just duplicate whatever line you're on. So we are going to use Unity engine.debug.log. This is a very useful line of code, because within Unity, at the bottom of your UI, you have the console. So anything we do, everything we tell it to print here will go out of the debug menu there. I think you can also literally just use print, but you know, it's an old habit. Actually, I should have tested that. There's probably a faster way of doing this. And so what we are going to do is we are going to debug log the input get access horizontal, and then we're going to do that again with the vertical. You need to learn keybinds a lot faster.
Yeah, I'll get there.
You'll get there.
Oh, whoops. No.
Good.
Alright.
Nice. Yeah, semicolons always go at the end of the line. So that is good move you just did. I need to actually make sure my stuff still works. So if you run this as it is now, you should get a whole load of stuff in your debug menu. Let's do it. And put 0 down. There you go. I'll move this over by 15. Okay. So at the bottom of your screen when it's running, you should see the debug come up. Or you can just like click into the console tab. Don't know why my Unity isn't actually starting anything. I've broken my Unity again. I don't even know how I've done that. I'm assuming yours isn't doing anything yet either. Okay. I've broken something somewhere. I'll kill my editor, get it back up. I'm gonna delete everything which isn't the new stuff. Why is mine broken? Okay, we're gonna delete everything, and then I'm gonna make a new square. This is the head, and I'm making it the snake head. Okay, mine's not working. Whatever was broken in mine was yesterday's code. So, is yours doing anything yet?
I could try again. Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Let me have a closer look at your code then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unity engine needs to be capitalized at the start. Is your error, which I'm very surprised you didn't actually get the an error message for that. You should do. So Unity engine is supposed to be capital on the U. It's very picky about capitalization. And that should run now.
Still nothing.
Did you actually save it?
I mean,
Control S. In fact, yeah, you didn't save that. I can see the marker thing you didn't.
where do I even save it?
Just hit Control S. That's what I do.
Control what?
Control S.
The question is, what is control again?
Oh
Oh man.
no, what keyboard are you using?
Alt. Wait. Alt.
How do you not know what
I
control
think it's
is?
saved.
I mean, I can see that it is.
I always need to Google that.
No, so in the name of the in Visual Studio, in the name of the tab, in the like top left and down a bit, it has the name, and if that has an apostrophe at the end, then it has not been saved. So I have to actually figure out how to save it the old way then. But you see the little star in the by the name. That means it hasn't been saved since your last edit. If you do, yeah, file and then halfway down save. Yeah.
Saved now.
Okay, now you go back into Unity, and now that will actually load your code. Because it won't load unless it's saved.
There. Yeah, now. Let me close my window for a second.
Okay. I think my internet's like gradually dying. I keep like buffering back on your stream, but what have you just got? Okay, so you have somehow got a whole list of errors from 3 lines of code,
Yeah.
which probably means you've forgotten a bracket somewhere. If you've got more errors than you have code, then it's a bracket issue. Let me have another look at your code then.
Someone. Welcome. I'm learning code.
Yeah, you see on the error list, you can see, I mean, the error list is one of your best friends when it comes to learning how to code. So you see on your one you've got bracket expected, type expected, bracket expected. So you've got, actually hold on, go to the top. So there's a comma expected. Do you not have commas in your transform position?
I mean, look at this. I think it's the same as you did.
I'm on a lot of delay now because it keeps getting slower.
No.
Transform.position equals new to 3. Oh, you deleted your very first opening brackets. So you see above
Which
void.
ones?
I'll show you one. So everything is done with brackets. So you have deleted this top bracket at some point. So, like, each method, everything within it is contained within these curly brackets. If you're doing any statement like an if statement, if something, then that would also have everything contained within the brackets. But it always has to have an opening and a closing. At the moment you've got two closing brackets but one opening bracket. Meaning something will go wrong somewhere. Like it will just not run if you've got uneven brackets.
It should be fine now.
Let me have a look. Yeah, looks good to me.
Now only 2 are there.
That is an improvement.
True.
So it's saying that input doesn't exist within the current context, meaning whatever you put into the get axis, no, into the input isn't right. Like, so, what is it called? I'm assuming you just don't have the capitalized I on input.
Oh man.
Again, it's very, very
Writing's
finicky
hard.
about capitalization. Like, it doesn't know anything with the name input with a lowercase I, because that just doesn't exist to it. But an uppercase I does exist, so it knows that one. Like,
Alright.
Unity is like
Every
quite
error is gone.
nice snagging on it. Like, Unity is quite inconsistent when it comes to capitalization. It's rather awkward, actually. So now you should get a debug log. Yeah, that's good, that is good. And if you press around on your arrow keys or WASD, then you should get your input. Yeah, that is good. Okay, so what we now need to do is we need to figure out where the player is going to go based on those two inputs. And there's a couple different ways we can do this, but I'm going to do it the maths way with you, because that's more compact and slightly more understandable. So, do you
Alright.
know what absolute is? Or ABS?
What is?
Absolute within maths, or ABS, as it's called in Unity.
I don't think I remember that.
Okay, so in maths in general, absolute turns any number positive. So if you did the absolute of -1, and that would equal 1. If you did the absolutes of 2, like +2, then that equals 2. It just makes everything the positive value of what it should be. So if it's positive, it does nothing. If it's negative, it turns it into the positive version. So what we are going to do is we are going to compare our two input axes and see which one has the greater input. So Unity has math.f. Let me remind myself how to actually access that. To do head movement. Math.f. Okay, so math.f, mathf dot is how Unity handles math for floating numbers, which, if you're doing maths, just use floating numbers. It will save you a bit of hassle. So math.f, ABS for absolute, and then we'll do our input.getAxis, we'll do horizontal, and then you know the greater or less than symbols, right? You know what the little the crocodile mouse is? I don't even know what to call that. It's like an
Crocodile
owl.
message.
Crocodile mouse. It's the way I was taught.
Ah, yeah. I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
Okay. Good. So we can actually debug that if we want. But since we are doing the absolute of both of them, regardless of what strengths they are, the whichever one just has a greater input, regardless of whether it's positive or negative, will take priority if we do an if statement. So if the... Why do I have so many brackets? So if the absolute of the horizontal is greater than the vertical, then we will do something going sideways. And then if it isn't, we can do it going the other way. Open, 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 open. I probably also actually just save then, put somewhere, and that might be more clear for you. Yeah, okay. I probably shouldn't have done it like that. Oh well. Do you want me to make it more simple for you? I can like break it into like
If you
different
want.
steps. Okay. So this is a long line of code which might be confusing for you to read. So we are going to make a variable. We'll just call it float horizontally. Do you know what a float is?
I have read many, but like I don't remember what they were.
So you have a couple different ways to store numbers within Unity. That's too small. So ignoring this for a second, we have the integer, which is any whole number. So 0, 1, 2, 122, 4, whatever. So that's where you store integers. And you have float, which is decimal numbers, is what I use it for. And do 0.001 kind of thing, or do like 5.2, whatever. And then you also have a double, which within a lot of code is very useful, but within Unity stuff, I honestly wouldn't bother. Like, there's more trouble than there's worse. But double can be used to store decimals, but that's sort of halfway between an int and a float. But integers and floats work really well with Unity, so for now we will ignore double. Floats will always store stuff with a certain amount of position. So I think it's like, how many characters is it? I think it's 13, I think. So, no, 16. Don't know why I said 13. So it would store a number really, really precise, or it would store it really, really big. And have you heard of floating point error?
No.
Okay, so actually, you probably don't need to do that. But basically, if a floating number gets too big, like it does decimals by just moving the decimal point around in the number pretty much, like so. But what happens if you make it too big, then the decimal point starts moving too far to the right, to the point where you've got digits which aren't being stored anymore. And so small changes to the number at that point then aren't stored, but everything above it is. Alright, you don't really need to know that, but like if a floating number gets too big, it loses precision on the lower numbers. So I don't need all that. So we're going to make a float called horizontal. And we're going to set that equal to our input get axis. And then we're going to make a float for our vertical. I'll do that as our get axis vertical. That way we don't need to type out this whole thing, meaning we can just do the absolute of vertical and the absolute of horizontal, which is easier to read than what I should have done to begin with. I can pull the stream up in mine, but then you can't see what I'm doing. You can also get rid of the debugs if you want. We don't need them anymore, and they are taking up space. But they don't actually do anything. The Unity engine debug, you can get rid of those if you want. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just nice to keep things tidy. So, yours looks mostly good, but you need your if statement after you declare the variables.
Let me redo this.
Okay. There are probably lots of rounds on as well. Running is probably easier to do. Actually, I have to do a start. Okay, yours is looking mostly good now. So, so if the horizontal is greater than the vertical, what we're going to do is we're going to be editing the transform dot position. So we are going to make a variable called vector3 move direction.
Could you perhaps like move your chat down? I can.
Oh
really
yes,
see
I
it.
didn't even think about that. Chat, you are. I'm just gonna hide the chat actually. Where is my chat? There it is. Okay. So, vector3 is a type the same as int
Dnet
and
underscore K
float.
said 07 chat.
07. They have perished. I still have TTS. They just don't show up in the board now. But vector3 is the same as int or float, but it might not show up as such within your Visual Studio, but it might. They're running like slightly different versions. So we are declaring a variable here.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, if the horizontal is greater than the vertical, we are going to set move direction to a new vector3. And how do I want to do this? Since we're only moving the snake in whole numbers, we can do. Actually, no, ignore that. So we got x, y, and z. Horizontal is, of course, x. So we'll move it. Oh, we'll do the vector3 as horizontal 0, 0. Because we are changing x, we don't change the other two. And you know if-else statements, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So we'll do else, and we'll do the same move direction, but for vertical instead. With of course vertical going into the Y slot. Your brackets are all over the place, but they should sort themselves out. Kind of funny. If you, with brackets, assuming Visual Studio will do the same as mine, if you delete the final one and then put it back in, it should put everything in the indentation it's supposed to be at. So if I remove the indentation here and put it back in, and it just goes to where it was. Okay. So you're moving the vertical now.
Yeah.
So you understand why we're doing move direction. We are just like setting where we want to go, pretty much. Okay. So we need to do transformed position again. So we are no longer changing the positioning up here. We don't want to change it there anymore. But we do want to change it at the bottom. We do actually. Do you want to try to figure out how to do the vector? So we have the current
what?
position.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the current position of transform dot position, and we have move direction. And we need to figure out where our final position is from that. Yeah, a lot of things don't like being added together. Is doing that now. So, you can do vector 2s and vector 3s. You can even do vector 4s, which is literally just the same as this, but you can do just an extra character at the end. But we don't care about that right now. But even though move direction, we've always got the final value being 0. I chose it like that specifically because you can add vector 3s together like they are just regular numbers. If this was a
Dr.
vector
Dayton
2...
said morning, Ed.
Morning, Dayton. If this was a vector 2, then we wouldn't be able to add it together, and we would have to do a new vector 3. But we don't need to do that. So, if we were doing it like this, it would be transform
Dr.
position
Dayton said hi chat hi
dot
dnet
x,
hi
and then
jar jar.
plus the move direction dot x, and they do that for
Dnet
each
underscore
individual
K said
value.
razor 1 hi.
But we don't want to do it like that. We can literally just add them together. So we need to set the transform dot position to something else. You know? I need to try
Yeah.
adding them together. We need to set the transform dot position to the new position based on movement direction. You got this.
It's my turn, I see.
Yep. That's what I was getting at.
So, wait. What exactly am I doing right now again?
So you know the transform dot position is a position of the game object.
Yeah.
We are going to change that position by the move direction amount. So, I mean, you've seen how to change the transform dot position at the start. We're doing that again, and we are. Well, maybe I should draw a picture. Pictures are nice. So, we have our object. We know where it is. The transform dot position tells us it is right there. And we have a move direction from what do we call it? Put that, which tells us with no sense of the current position where we want to move. So we can move up or we could move to the side, and it only has that singular value saved. And so we want to take the starting position and we want to add the move direction to it to then find out what the final position should be, and then we are setting transform dot position to be this final position. So we take the current position, we add the move direction, and then we set the transform position to this final space. You got that?
Yeah. So do I just like yeah, I don't know how to do that though.
Okay. That's probably not the best one I could have given you. So the transform dot position, we change that based on equals and then a vector 3. So we add the transform position and the move direction literally as transform dot position and then plus move direction, which is why we use vector 3s for both of them. And so we take this and we put it into here and we're done. Yeah, I should be getting you to actually do some stuff yourself, which I've I probably ought to do more of that, but it's weird because it is an exact science, so I need to teach you how to learn for yourself, whilst also actually teaching you. That's my chat doing. They're doing good. Oh please. Okay. Danette, tell me what that final line of code is doing.
I don't know what I did here. Wait.
Think through it. Try and explain it. This is your code we're looking at now.
Wait. It's basically saving the position and direction.
Okay, now I got it good. Yeah, before you had the move direction being changed, but it's a position changing, so yeah, that is good now. Anyway, so if you load that up now, I need to save mine, and then we'll send that. Mine has an error on line 13, which is this one. That is fixed. And now mine is compiling. Mass F doesn't have apps because it needs to be capitalized. There we go, I should be fine now. That's the Discord, whoops. So, I will check mine and then we are debugging yours. Yeah, that's good. Okay, what are your errors? Oh, I see
Did
what
I
you
do
mean.
anything wrong again?
Yes, yes, you did. But we're going to go through your error list to make you figure out where you went wrong. Because the error list is one of the most useful resources for learning. Like, if you can find where you went wrong, it's just gonna, it just literally tells you how to do it half the time. Alright, so you see you've got 5 errors. You know how to read the line from that, right?
Read the line.
So if
wait.
you look at your error,
Yeah.
yeah, I got a stream delay. So you'll see assets/snakehead.cs, and then you will have 2 numbers in the brackets. The first number is what line it's on. The second number is what character was in that line. It has the error. This isn't always correct, depending on what the error is, but like, if you look at that first error, you can kind of see what it is, what's gone wrong. So line 16. There you go. That's one of them. Yeah, you got this, you got this. You're learning how to read errors.
Finally.
Like, generally, reading the compiler errors is one of the most useful learning things you have. Nice, nice. Yeah, you got them all. That should run now.
It should.
Okay. Right. So these are all capitalization errors. ABS, I did actually type out wrong on my side. It is a capitalized A. That is my fault. And you can figure out the other ones. I believe in you. Oh. That one's actually surprising at the top. The horizontal. Where have you... Oh. I see it. I see it. But do you see it?
No.
Okay. Read out that first error for me. Read out the first error.
The first error says a local variable or function named horizontal is already defined in this scope.
True. And that occurs on line 17. So we go have a look at line
Yes.
17. I do actually have quite a bit of stream delay now. So on line 17 you are declaring a float called horizontal. And you're calling it input.
Should I change that to vertical?
Yes.
Ah.
You see the line above has float horizontal as well. So you're declaring the same variable twice, which isn't a good thing to do. It can sometimes work, but not here. There you go. There you go. I got many more errors to do. Mass F not having ABS is my fault, that is capitalized.
The what is capitalized?
The A
Fs?
in ABS. Yeah, abs.
Wait, what was that?
You have the line number from the errors if you need them. There you go. You got it. You got it. You're learning. Nice. She's learning. She's doing bug fixing. Big moment.
Crazy.
Crazy. Big moment. Still good. Nice. $18.27. I'm assuming you have actually saved. Oh wait, hold on. I see what's going on here. You see, after float, you got the variable name and it's blue. That's because it's a local variable, and then every other instance of that will also be blue. But you'll see the other ones aren't blue, meaning you have probably done a typo somewhere. Yes, you have. But can you find it, is the question. There you go. Okay. You got it. Yeah, you missed an I and horizontal. mean,
Good.
It happens quite
I
a bit.
struggle writing horizontal.
Yeah. But, this is why we have compiler errors and why it's important for you to know how to read them. Like, half of coding is fixing your old mess rather than making new stuff. So if you run that now, you should see movement. It's going to be a little bit funky, but that is intentional because I will teach
Yeah,
you
it
the rest
works.
after. Hmm? Oh, up and down is kind of weird. You can't move diagonally, can you?
Can I what?
You can't move your square diagonally, can you? Like,
Let me try.
you can't move like sideways and then down. If I saw that correctly, it's snapping to a 0 on the XY axis, whatever one you're not using.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Okay, well,
District 10 said
that
Jar Jar has not
is
slept and
a
the sun
bug.
is on the rise, so I be going to Mimimi.
Jar Jar is going to sleep. Night night, Jar Jar. But yeah, we need to go and fix that
Good night, Jar
bug.
Jar.
So, back to coding. So this one, it has successfully compiled, and so it isn't coming up as an error, but it's not doing what you want it to. So why? Oh, I see. Right. Can you figure it out? If not, I can tell you, but I'll need to try first.
let me try.
Yeah, I know. If you can figure it out for yourself, that is better than me teaching you. Which is kind of weird for me to say, considering I'm here to teach you, but, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah, no?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so, little bit of help. It is not in your, like, the code we just wrote for the movement is actually working absolutely fine and doing exactly what you want it to. How can I explain without actually just telling you? Like, I'll just tell you. So, after void update, you've got transform.position equals new vector 3010. That means every frame you're setting the position to be x0, y1, and then you're applying your movement on top of that. Which means every single frame you're resetting it. Which is not very good.
And how do I fix it?
So literally the first line of code after void update is just delete it. You don't want to be resetting your transform position.
Wait, let me make the screen bigger.
Okay, hold on. I'll mark it out for you on a sniffing tool. It is this line here. So what is happening is every single frame you have your starting position, or I guess the position you were last in. And then this is setting your position to be 0, 1, which we'll say it's here. We'll call it here. And then your movement is being applied. Do that. Giving you a new position, and then once again, the next frame occurs, and you go back to the start. And then that's the worst graph I've ever drawn. But you understand, like, setting transform dot position to 0, 1, 0 is a specific space within the our 2D arrangement. That's not something we want. Instead, we want to always move based on our last movement. Oh, you can do it.
So I just remove that.
Yeah, you just remove it.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. That should work now. It's going to be some very janky movement, but that is intentional, and I know why, and we're going to fix it after.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. So you see there's a couple of issues with it, but that is movement achieved. And you're no longer resetting your position every frame. You can just go wherever you want. Nice. Okay, shall we fix that? So, are you familiar with delta time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
good.
remember that.
Good, very good. So, delta time, amount of time that's moved each frame. So we are going to do a float. We're gonna call it move time. I'm gonna set that to 1 when it's declared. If you're declaring a variable just at the start of your code and not a local one, then Unity will automatically give it a value. If you're declaring a local variable like within a method, then it has to have a value. So you see, we didn't call move direction, we didn't assign anything to it, and it just gave it 000 as the default. But for move time, we do want to give it a value. That's literally just going to be how long until we move. Right. So we need time.delta time. So. Before we change the movement, we want to check whether... Actually, we also need another float for move time progress, which will start at 0. And so, every single frame, we are going to take move time progress, and we are going to add plus equal time.delta time to it. And then if move time progress is greater than move time, then we will move. And when we do move, we have to reset the move time progress back to where it was before. So it's always going to slightly overshoot because the frame's going to be a couple of milliseconds each, and so to keep that overshoot for the next one, we are going to take move time progress and we are going to subtract minus equal. We're going to subtract move time. Does that make any sense to you? Because I said a lot there. Slightly, okay.
I'm still writing the code though, so.
Okay, I'll bring it back up in mine. So, we are taking our transform dot position and we are only moving if a certain amount of time has passed. I do it like that, that might be more clear. I wonder if I could do a plus equal in that one. Vector Stream might not like it, but it might be worth trying. Oh. I'm picking up my second one to bring you over there so that you see what you're doing again. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. So, we'll do the logic of this quickly just to make sure you understand. So, we have a timer, and every frame that is adding on the amount of time that has passed since the last frame. And we have a certain amount that we have to get to in order for the movement to occur. And then when we hit that, we then actually do our movement and we subtract the amount that it has to pass for a movement to occur. The reason why we're not just setting it to 0 is because we are probably going to go from like 0.99 to 1.01 kind of thing. If we set it to 0, then we just get 0 and we lose the 0.01. It'll be 0.00. By subtracting this, we get to keep that 0.1, which is slightly better for timekeeping. Though you probably wouldn't actually notice if we didn't do that. I really need to practice drawing graphs, but we will send this. And we'll run this code, see if it works.
I think I forgot to write one thing though. Whoops.
What have you forgotten? What are you doing over there?
No, I just wrote it the wrong way around. Okay, I thought I forgot something.
No, you're fine. So we'll try this. Float does not contain a definition for delta time. Okay. Oh, let's have a look at your code. There's line 30. Okay, I see it. So time is a built-in part of the Unity engine. So, delta time is a property of time. And so to access delta time, we do time.delta time. At the moment, we've got move time, which is one of your own variables, which doesn't have any properties to it. Make sense?
I don't understand what I need to fix here.
Okay, let me pull Sniffle Tool up. So, you have got move time progress plus equals move time.delta time. Delta time is a property of time, which is a property of the Unity engine. Because we're using the Unity engine at the very top, we don't have to say Unity engine, we just do time.delta time. But delta time. So you see on line 30 you've got move time.delta time at the end of the line. Move time is your own variable and it does not have a property called delta time. So you can't access delta time through that because it just doesn't exist yet. Or it doesn't exist in that specific space. So you need to change move time to time. Maybe I should explain the using stuff. That might be weird. Wrong one.
No.
Yeah, you changed the wrong move time.
So this one.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Nice. That should run now.
Alright, fixed.
Nice. I got a load of streams. Let's hope we refresh your stream. And it's probably time for me to explain the using part and how libraries work. So, I'm assuming you're seeing my stream.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, at the start of our code, we have using system collections generic, and Unity engine. What these do, these are libraries, and most bits of code will use a library somewhere. A library is a massive collection of code, so I'm not sure what's in here, but that would be like thousands of lines of code. So when we use stuff like massf.abs, stuff like that, and in this case time.deltaTime, what we are actually accessing is Unity engine.time.deltaTime. Because we have Unity engine at the top here, we have just free access to all of its properties. So you don't need that, but you know it's good to have. Otherwise you have to type it out like this every time. So Unity engine is the same as how Transform has position and rotation and scale. Unity engine has got time, it's got mass F, it's got a whole load of things. And so what we were referring to here in time.deltaTime is actually Unity engine.time.deltaTime. But writing that out every time is a bit of faff, so don't bother. So Unity engine has like everything, or almost everything, which interacts with Unity itself will come through the Unity engine library, which is these. So position, rotation, scale, time. I mean, does that make sense? Like, the libraries are literally just a big mass of code with its own properties you can refer to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're getting time.deltaTime from the Unity engine. What you had is you were referring to moveTime.deltaTime, which doesn't exist. Because you have called this variable, meaning that all it has is what you've assigned it and anything that the float variable has by default. It will have a whole load of stuff, but you haven't given this anything which would refer to deltaTime. That just doesn't exist from that. And that's libraries. So that works for you, I believe. And now we can move. Right?
It should be working.
Should be. Let me check your stream.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it works. Okay. So one thing you do have is you have the issue where it's not moving by a set amount, which is an issue in Snake because it's supposed to be a grid. I mean, you can't do it without a grid, but you know. So, what we are doing is we are going to round our inputs to be a whole number. So, when we get our input.getAxis, we are going to also do a rounding on that. You can put it directly on, but we will do a separate line just for clarity. So we will do horizontal equals mass f dot round horizontal. And I'll do that for vertical too. And this will round it to the nearest integer. Our inputs are currently between 0 and 1, meaning that this will either be 0 or 1. And again, mass f comes from the Unity engine library. So what we're not saying is that this is actually Unity engine.massf.round, which is confusing if you learn without knowing that, but you know. I mean, a lot of it's confusing, but we'll gradually figure it out over time. Worth noting, if I was doing it by myself, instead of writing stuff on a separate line, I would literally just do mass f.round on the input itself. But that's a lot in one line, so we're not doing that. Does yours work? There are still bugs in it. I know what's going to cause them, but I would like to see what you have. So you see that it's now moving by a set value. Nice. Okay, that's good. But of course, not entirely done yet. So, at the moment we are allowing the player to do movements of 0, which you can't do in Snake, or at least you're not supposed to be able to do. We want continuous movement. And so, you'll see with what we've got on our direction setting, we are doing, if horizontal is greater than vertical, then we're setting horizontal as move direction. If in any other situation we're setting vertical. But that means if they are both set to 0, then this isn't true. So it goes to the else statement, and it will set move direction equals vector 3 0. Vertical's been rounded down to 0, so that will also be 0 there. And then we end up with a vector 3 of just 0, which isn't what we want. So there are multiple different ways of fixing this. What we are going to do is we'll literally swap out the else statement for an if, and we will change the greater than to a less than. Actually, I'm pretty sure it will work. I have to double check that because I didn't do that on my setup yesterday. Yeah, okay, that worked for me. So, you'll see we are only changing the values if one is greater than the other. And we are setting them to either 0 or 1, meaning either 0 or 1, meaning words, brain tired. Meaning if they're both 0, then it won't update in any way. Okay, yours is looking good. Very nice. that is the snake head pretty much done for now. To progress from this, we are going to need to work on other parts of the game first, which it's about time. We've done a lot on the head, so time for something else. So I believe next we got Ed.
Today I need to stop streaming earlier, sadly.
We can leave it here.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do more code tomorrow then. I will teach you how to do a snake.
Thank you again.
Yep.
I'll rewatch the VOD to learn.
Okay, but yeah, I will just teach you anytime. It's always going to be a little discussion. And there's like many different ways of solving problems, which some are good, some are bad, and some are good, but you only find out if there's an issue later on. Anyway, yeah, good morning show.
Yeah.
Continue tomorrow, and we will make more. I'll teach you the code. Okay.
Thank you again.
Of course.
Alright, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. And she's gone. I'll probably quit out too, because I don't have any other plans, so. We have 2 years. We're not gonna bother with a raid. So, see you, chap. Bye bye.